Yo, what's up? Do you realize here? Fucking voice already cracking. Yeah, I just wanted to film a video just off the cuff. No sort of script. For starters, I guess it's just kind of like give a bit more of an introduction of who I am and the type of weed I smoke because I never really gave a sort of formal introduction. And believe me, I gave it a couple of attempts during the recording of this video to give a introduction of who I am. I started to get fucking depressed. Come to realize summarizing your life for a video after smoking a little bit of weed could get existential real quick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it as simple as possible. I'm in the animal care field. I have an interest for, if you could call it a fucking interest, cannabis. I like to mess around with video editing, photo editing, some Blender, just the kind of general shit. It's like saying like, "Oh, I love dogs." Like, well, it's kind of like a nothing statement. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, I guess there are people who dislike fucking pets for some reason, or I don't know what. I'm a guy that's in my head a lot. I think that's another sort of characteristic I have. I kind of go into little tangents, whether it's about myself, something that's fucking existential, or just some retarded shit. Honestly, I'm just trying to build a habit of just uploading within, the instance of any sort of feeling. When I first started the channel, I initially wanted it to be something where I could express life experiences and sort of extract the sort of lesson to be learned, but I honestly don't feel like I have the fucking G pass for that. And I guess, I could recognize the fact that a lot of these thoughts that I would feel that is isolating feelings or things that people could relate with, but I feel like the focus on that is solely dependent on the framing of me just having it all figured out when in reality that isn't the case at all. And I feel like there's way more important things to focus on. Becoming more familiar with the idea of going to this certain place of creation, create, create. Why can't I say it? What the fuck? Creation, and just having like a sort of like reflex of just being able to go to that sort of mindset. I feel like that's more important than focusing on, "Oh, man, I'll be able to do this as soon as I hit this, as soon as I do that," as I making happiness a goalpost and just, waiting for circumstances to just be perfect. For a long time, as corny or as cheesy or as fucking pathetic as it sounds, I've always told myself, "Oh, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be fucking famous for, I don't know, for fucking weed or for fucking editing a video." Obviously, there are realities out there when it comes down to those specific things, but just having that whole focus on that certain aspect or that certain outcome, it really makes it vague enough to the point where it just feels like, something you cannot really grasp. Like, I'll be real, I'm just thinking to myself, like, it all sounds good and all, but nigga, how the fuck are we actually gonna do this? And even outside of the whole creativity, interest slash hobbies sort of thing, or let's say that you've managed to self actualize and you're not a complete fucking moron like me. This life in general, it just serves so much as a fucking distraction when it comes down to where your mind's at. And I feel like that's clearly by design. It just serves so much as a fucking distraction to the point where it's hard to focus. But yeah, man, all that was really just a long-winded way of saying that I'm gonna be doing my best getting back into this. And given the context of what I discussed in this video, I had felt as though I was under certain restrictions when it came down to just, wanting to create shit and putting it out there. And there is objective restrictions such as my computer getting blue screen whenever I try to live stream or play games that are too demanding or even just using design software. Like my it's on its fucking final feet right now. So, you know, fingers crossed for that Best Buy protection plan. But there was other things I had convinced myself to hold myself back, things that were subconscious when it came down to not actually wanting to sit down and record things, such as, the whole idea of entering a certain flow state by removing any sort of stresses that enters your mind. I generally do believe that you need to go into a certain mental place to freely express things in a way that's organic and it isn't so fucking forced. Look, like I'm not trying to say that isn't an important factor when it comes down to pulling ideas from the fucking aether and just expressing shit. But for me personally, I've come to realize that what's even more important is just coming to build that whole muscle memory and just the reflex of just doing it. And, it definitely is important when, everything is, stress free, when you're absent of any of these all other thoughts that distract you on your fucking daily. But focusing on that, it made me retarded. It's ironic, because I had such a focus on that let's say that when things were really good and then it was actually time to sit down and record, I just honestly be lost just out of the sole fact that I had trivialized the whole experience and process by assuming as soon as I entered a certain mental place that all the thoughts would come to me, that I'd be able to express things properly, that I suddenly wouldn't be a fucking idiot. Like one thing is the fucking whole process of sitting down and recording a video. I totally forgot how awkward it feels just to sit in a room by yourself and have a whole ass conversation with no one else being there. The whole it's comparable to fucking Galaxy Gas. The whole ambience of it just feels like that. And that's essentially it for the video. I honestly felt like I needed a leash around my neck just to ring me by the fucking throat a couple of times whenever I wanted to add more points to what I've already discussed. And I just wanted to go ahead and mention that all this is really more serving as a reminder for myself because I find that often I do lose focus on what I really want to do in my life. And it's really hard whenever come across times where I just fall into despair. And at this point, I'm really just focusing on a different kind of method when it comes down to losing all hope. So something that's not as destructive and a bit more generative towards some of the things I want to do. At least be able to say, at least I fucking tried. So I really do plan to get up on here and throw my shit around a couple more times throughout the week. Just to build a habit of uploading on this channel like I've been needing to for a long ass time. I don't know if I really addressed it properly or not, but I've got 50 plus subscribers, and I'm pretty thankful for that, considering that I've always felt like the things that I had to express didn't have any sort of validation, and I guess that's really just giving myself too much fucking credit. But I I've yet to get hate. I've yet to get hate. If I just kinda upload consistently and just get into the habit of just fucking shooting the shit, I'd literally just be expressing shit that I've been wanting to express for a long time while gradually getting subscribers. So, regardless, as soon as I do get that upgrade and I don't have to deal with this piece of shit fucking computer, and I do plan to live stream a lot more, um, dog, throughout this whole time, I haven't even been able to play fucking Fortnite without it crashing within an hour, so it's been real tough. Honestly, Thug Pro, IW4X, and Halo 3, that's really been carrying me. I'm really fucking aging myself at this point, but that's essentially it. I do plan to come out with some extra videos soon. So, yeah, gracias. Thank you for watching.